Woody and I have been trying for 2 weeks now to figure out some elixir, something that could actually turn this franchise around, actually make them a better product on the field.
Well, we know the answer, but forget about the Montfort selling.
Yeah. The
2
Montforts
words,
aren't
Phil
selling.
Anschutz. Yes.
Well, so is there a solution to what we believe is an endemic, a systemic problem with this franchise outside of the Montfort selling? I mean, what has to happen for them to actually put a good product on the field, to change the culture there to a positive force, to make them a beloved franchise once again in town?
Okay, so then if the Montforts aren't going to sell, and there's absolutely no indication they will sell, ever, because they want it to be a family heirloom. And that's cool. That's their right.
And I can't wait for the next generation.
Yeah. Then Dick Montfort has to acknowledge that he knows nothing about baseball and hire a president / GM that does know something about baseball.
I think we have consensus here.
That's not going to happen, though. It's not going to happen.
Because Dick doesn't want that either.
He wants to, it's his toy. It's like getting a train for Christmas. You want to play with it. You don't want somebody else playing with it. You own the train, but you still want to turn the buttons and have it go round and round.
Okay, and I was, a year ago at spring training, not this season, a year ago, I was sitting in Bill Guyvette's office one morning, just asking a number of team issues. And in a 35-minute time frame, Dick Montfort must have called his cell phone 3 times just to know what's going on.
He meddles,
with
is what you're
batting
saying.
practice today.
He's a meddling owner.
How many pitches the guy, building up his arm strength was going to throw. And it's like, no, you can't do that. You can't, hire good people, let those people do their jobs. And if you're not going to do that and you're not going to sell, then the humidor doesn't matter, and expanding scouting operations in the Philippines or South America doesn't matter. None of it matters.
All right.
Just to follow up on what you said, remember the Jim Tracy thing, and there was a handshake deal? Remember that 3 or 4 years ago, that we don't have to give him extension.
Right.
We reached out and we've shaken hands on it. And I'm standing behind the batting cage, and I'm talking to Tracy, and Dick walks up and goes, "Shake my hand, Jim. See, we have a handshake." Well, and then they basically got rid of him at the end of the year because they brought in Guyvette to sit in his lap like
he walked
Curry's
away.
kid. Yeah, but because he didn't want to put up with it anymore. He knows, Jim Tracy knows. If Miami had wanted to do something good, they would have hired. Jim Tracy's still got some stuff in him that someone should hire. Here's my latest solution, and I've got a million of them. I'm like David Letterman's top 10 list, and by the way, David Letterman's last show was tonight.
Yeah.
I read the Rolling Stone piece on him yesterday. It was really good about, he figured out it's time to go. He wants to go fishing with his son all the time. He lives in Montana half the time. So, Dave, best wishes. The answer, I've come to the conclusion, I'm going to go with this, and I've told him, dump $47 million from your payroll, half your payroll.
Tulo, Cargo, and
De La
Rosa.
Okay.
All right, and play the rest of the year with bring up David Dahl and Kevin Story, and let Ben Paulson play first base. Oh, and Justin Morneau. Wouldn't it be nice if he got to finish his career in Canada? He's a Canadian. Let him go. Larry Walker got to play in Canada. Justin Morneau play for Toronto. So here's my solution. And I said earlier in the week, and for people who miss this, is I went and looked at what teams spend on their pitchers. And the Rockies are third from the bottom. Mm-hmm. That's your biggest need. That shouldn't be third from the bottom in the league. That should be your highest priority. Instead of 33%, that's what they've spent, and that's mostly invested. Half of that's invested in two pitchers, De La Rosa and Kendrick, and the rest of them are dividing up the other half. That you spend 75% of your money, because it's very easy to get position players to come here. It's pretty easy to draft even. They've gotten Corey Dixon, they've gotten Tulowitzki, they've gotten Arenado. They've gotten them out of the draft. You can do Charlie Blackmon. We can go down. It's pretty easy to draft guys in the 7th, 8th round that are position players or get out old veterans, the Giammis and stuff like that. Spend 75% of your payroll. Let it be $97 million, but spend 75% on it. But here's what you get for those 3 guys that I've just talked about. Don't you think, or let me put it, do you think, let me finish and I'll get an answer from all of you, that you get 3 prospects for Tulowitzki? Troy Rink wants to get an experienced pitcher. I say, no, go get 3 top prospects out of 100. Because the Rockies only have 3 players that are in the top 100 prospects. So get 3 pitchers that are in the top 100 from a team, like the Mets. The Mets are now struggling. The Nats have caught them. The Mets are defensively awful. Go to them and say, we don't want your starting pitcher. We don't need your starting pitchers. Give us your 3 best pitchers in the minor leagues. Or 3 of your best pitchers. You go for Cargo and say, we know he's damaged goods, but he's going to get better this year. He's going to get better. He's a player. He's a great defensive outfielder. Give us 2 prospects. We want 2 prospect pitchers. Maybe 17th and 50th. Give us 2 pitchers. Okay, we'll give you Cargo. Morneau, give us 1 prospect. Give us 1 prospect in the Blue Jays in the top 50 that's a pitcher. And De La Rosa, give us 1 prospect, and you are a contending team, and you get that. Well, add those up. That's 7 pitchers that are prospects that are in the top 100. You add them to Jonathan Gray, who we don't ever know, but you've got 8 prospects. God, can't you get 2 or 3 out of those 8 prospects? I don't know, but at least that is something. That's my solution.
I like the idea because you're not going anywhere with what you got. I am very, very, very afraid that anybody in that Rockies organization knows what to do with those 8 prospects, though.
Okay, stop right there. Here's the next question. Woody and I disagree on this. Woody has already run out of patience with the new general manager, Jeff Bridich. He's written him off already. I'm preaching patience. The guy's had the job for maybe 5 months now.
What was his job before this? I'm sorry. Oh, he was head of developing the minor league players. That was his job. Oh, God.
Where do you stand on Jeff Bridich?
Knucklehead.
From Harvard, a knucklehead?
There's lots. My brother, who's a math genius, graduated from MIT.
Knucklehead? Can't tie his shoes?
No. Is he going to be? Does that make him qualified to be general manager of the Rockies?
Gotcha.
I mean, it's a far different thing.
Why is he a knucklehead?
Because he's repeating the insanity that was done before him.
Do you think that's him, or do you think that's coming from the top?
If he doesn't have enough power to tell Dick Montfort this is the way it needs to be done, then he was a knucklehead for taking the job.
Wait. Who else was going to offer him a general manager's job?
Maybe if he went somewhere else with a proven, there have been a lot.
He might
of,
have to work his way up, but he was offered the
There
job.
have been a lot of guys that have left here. There have been I got to make this point.
Okay.
There have been at least a half dozen guys that have left this organization and gone to other organizations and become general managers.
True.
He could have become one if he's good. He could have become general manager of the Yankees if he's a great talent. I mean, Jerry DiPoto was in this organization. Josh Burns.
Correct.
Josh Burns. I can go on. There are assistant general managers all over the league that were interns with the Rockies, realized that they weren't going to go anywhere because this franchise wasn't going anywhere. So, no, don't hand me that. No, if I'm a guy.
Well, a bird in the hand would. I mean, he was.
I left jobs. I left a good job for the city. I left a good job.
Every day 9 to 5.
I left
Paige.
a good job in another city to come here thinking I didn't want to work there. I didn't want to work for that person. I'll take a risk. And I came here and it worked out great for me. Jeff could have done that if that stuff he did last week was a knucklehead.
That was a knucklehead move. I will go to your point, though. He hasn't had enough time to show us what he can and can't do. I agree with that. But he took a job where you can keep it forever, so maybe he's smart to take that. But he's taken a job where you have very little chance to succeed. He got a Harvard education to take a job that you can hold but you can't succeed at.
I'll say it again, a bird in the hand. He was
Okay.
offered the GM's job here. If he did what Woody's suggesting, he might have had to go somewhere else for 2, 3, 4, 5 years and take the chance on maybe never getting a GM's job.
Or take the chance if you're any good. Don't you have faith in yourself?
Sure.
You've left places for other jobs.
And look where you are now.
Yeah, what the hell was I thinking? All live
You
guests.
left a good job
All right.
to come to Denver.
I
didn't
left
you?
a good job in the city, working for the man every night and day.
rolling on.
Live guests like Mark Kiszla, you are live, right? Brought to you by Papa John's, the official
Half.
sponsor of the Colorado Rockies, the day after every Rockies win. And they won last night, huh? You get 50% off your regular menu price online order at
Is this the
papajohns.com.
start?
So
Yeah.
go to papajohns.com and
Josh is right.
big.
This
put
is
in the
something
put in
big.
the promo code ROXWIN, ROXWIN.
Who are they playing, by the way? They're playing
the Phillies again.
side.
Phillies.
Yeah, and the Phillies are,
Phillies today?
The Phillies have one pitcher, Cole Hamels. They faced one pitcher, that was Cole Hamels. They lost that game. Now they're going to get to face three pretty lousy pitchers, and then the Giants are going to come in. And these aren't as bad a Giants as they
Yeah,
were, because
Giants
they've
have
now
turned
got
things
their
around a
right
little.
fielder back now. So you don't have the Brewers and the Giants to beat, old bad Giants to beat up. And the Phillies are going away, and then they're going to go to Philadelphia, and they'll lose 3 or 4 in Philadelphia. You look at June 15th, a month from now, you look at June 15th, they are going to be off the table. I mean, they're already off the table, but I mean, at that
Like
point, they'll
30
be like,
games under 500?
They'll be like 50 and 40 or something like that. 50 and 30. 50 and 30.
You talking about the Rockies?
Yeah.
You mean 30 and 50?
No. The record?
Yeah.
15 and 30.
Oh, 15. I thought you said 50. Okay.
No.
15
no,
and
50
30.
and 30.
Okay.